Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Welcome to War on the Webway. I'm Ollie. I'm with my friend Alan. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Ollie, and hello, everyone listening. This is our first tier list.
Yeah, it's
We've not
episode.
done this before.
It's episode 6, and you're trusting me with technology, so this is going to be an absolute fucking nightmare. But
Well, it's taken us about 20 minutes to find find how to do it, but we've got it now. We've got it now. That's all that matters.
it's
And
it's
yeah,
what
we're
all
going to do a
top
tier
YouTube
list.
podcasters do. They always do a tier list. They use this program, so we're going to do it ourselves because what could go wrong. We've got
Yes.
quite a lot to cover.
What could go wrong.
We've got quite a lot to cover, and I don't really want that much preamble. I just want to kind of get into it. So
Everyone knows the drill by now, don't they?
Everyone knows the
drill.
Take every unit in the index, including the Imperial armor, and we're going to rank it on our system based on what we believe, based on what we've played with, what we think about, how we see data sheets. So it's kind of doing what we're doing on the index review, but kind of at a higher level and trying to whip through as quickly. It's a fun Christmas thing, right? So that's what we're going to do, and let's get into it, I guess. So,
all right, Alea.
I was going to say, do you want to talk through our ranking system first before we actually talk through the units?
Oh yes. I mean, it is pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. Auto include what we think should be in everyone's list, and every Custodes list, especially from a competitive standpoint. Solid option is something that's good and can basically give you or compete into a lot of armies. It may not get you to kind of like the top tier, but it'll be a good choice for you. Consider something depending on your play style.
Yep.
It's pretty average. Some matchups it's good, some matchups it's shocking. No chance is just we don't think these should be in any lists, apart from the rule of cool. And bin, it's just Games Workshop basically just don't even sell them until you fix them, basically.
I have a feeling some of this is going to be quite controversial, but I can't wait to get into it. So,
well, we'll see the comments, I guess.
yeah. And again, as with anything, if you disagree with us, please comment below. We do read every comment going. So, let's get into it. Alea. Where are you going to put Alea?
She's only got one redeeming factor,
Which is,
and that is her damage 3.
ooh, she does damage 3.
She's damage 3, and we don't have a lot of options for damage 3. Until they fix her keywords, she doesn't have the Anathema Psychana.
Of course she doesn't.
She can't go into a Rhino.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, she doesn't have it.
Can she bodyguard with other sisters? So she gets it that way? Yes, she can. So she can bodyguard with prosecutors, vigilators, and witch seekers. So she can get the keyword, go into the Rhino.
Yeah, if she's in a squad, but on her own, she can't. So, I mean, yeah, if she's really cool, she's an interesting character.
How many points
I
on
like
top
her
of your
for the
head?
damage 3. I think it's 80.
And Knight Centurion is 55 or 60?
No, Knight Centurion is 75.
Oh, so she's not that many points more than a Knight Centurion. She still gets Scout, she's got Feel No Pain, and a damage 3 weapon. That's not bad. I would almost put her into consider. Like, I think there's an argument you could play with that. Are you a no chancer?
Let's put her in consider, and then we can see. I mean, she's good in terms of she gives the unit fight first, right?
Yeah.
But that's only really good with vigilators, and but that's it. She's got a 6, a Scout 6, and a Feel No Pain. So I don't know, mate. It's So okay, let's leave her and consider, and then we can always drop it down.
Yeah, if you're running lots of sisters and lots of chaff, and you love a Knight Centurion, maybe you consider Alea. Alea seems a decent option. If you aren't running those, then you're probably not going to want it. That's a no chance. So she's sitting somewhere between consider a no chance, and maybe she moves down the consider ranking to no chance. Let's get to that. Do we do Alaris now, or do we come back to Alaris?
Okay, let's put Alaris a bit further down, and we'll do them later.
Let's get into it before.
Because we need the context.
Yeah, it's true.
There we go.
Okay, right. I should have really ranked these before we got into this.
Sod it. Okay, let's just carry on from here.
Yeah. Termes. Dreadnought.
Grillins.
Full draw Termes. You were trying to get play out of these guys.
Mate, I've tested them, and they've got play.
Okay.
Genuinely do.
Which options are you running them with? The Volkite and Fists.
Flamers and claws.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so Flamers and claws. What are you thinking? Consider solid option.
I'd say consider the upper end. Consider potentially moving into solid option. For people listening, the Flamer Fire Pike is a good option in Overwatch. It's also a good option for clearing chaff and crap, which we don't have a lot of. Most of our Flamers are either on Dreadnoughts or they're on Sisters bodies.
Yeah.
So as soon as you put it onto a Custodes model, it gives you more value because those models stay alive longer. In addition, their rule is if you're shooting the closest model, you can reroll wound rolls of 1.
Ooh.
So because they're strength 6, you're flaming normally toughness 3 bodies, 3d6 auto hits, wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s, ignores cover AP 1. But then also when you get into combat with them, you're looking at 21 attacks. Because there's 7 attacks each with the claws, still AP 2, damage 1. But again, what they give you is guaranteed horde clearance.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And the flame unit, they can do 1. Combat, they can do another. You start to get to a point where these guys can clear enough that it can really start to limit your... Because you're not trying to get 210 points of chaff killed with these guys, right?
No.
You're trying to clear their crap quick enough so that you can clear the board, so that you can then use that board for rapid ingress, or you can use that board for deep strike.
So it's a lot of points for that.
Yes, it is, yeah.
It's a lot of points for that. You can't have a Vexilla, so they'll only go with BOC2. They're kind of doing the job that people think Alaris are doing for them. They're not bad. I would go consider. I don't think solid option for these guys. I think consider. I don't think the rest of the Lastrum Stormbolters or the Adretic Destructors are worth it. Power Fist isn't bad. The Power Gauntlet, Solarite Power Gauntlet isn't bad. But yeah, I think I would run these as Infernus Firepike, Power Talon, and basically just trying to hold and be a roadblock with 3 of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think Topper consider.
Go away, you're going to go down there. Right. Blade Champion. There you go.
Auto.
just but, if you're not running a Blade Champion, you should be running 2 at least. They advance and charge. They're incredible. In combat, they can do precision. They can do dev wounds. They can do a horde clearance version. They are a incredible character for 120 points. And when you start putting enhancements on them, they just get better. They're an auto include. And like I say, 2, and I have a case for to run 3 of them. That's a different episode, but that's me. We're in agreement on that one, right?
There is no instance in where if you put a Blade Champion in with a squad of Custodes that he can go into, there is no instance where you do not make them a lot better than they are.
Yeah, he's a huge force multiplier. Huge force multiplier.
Massive.
We're going to do... Oh, there's not a shield captain on foot here. That's annoying. Alright,
there he is. He's directly below the Caladius.
Oh, there he is. Thank you. Right, Caladius, solid option?
Yeah, I'd say solid. I'd say probably not auto include because we don't beat other armies in gunline against gunline.
So interestingly, for me, he's an auto include, but that's just my style of play. I would have 2 as autos. I start with 2. That's how I do it. The fly nerf, and specifically the Arachnus Storm Cannon version, right? The 4-shot reroll and twin linked. That version is to me an auto include. Solid anti tank, tough body. You can always get cover save with him usually. Yeah, I would run 2 of those always. I think solid option is fair for him for most people, but I would categorize him as auto include.
Yeah, I do think we need to caveat this a little bit and say everyone obviously is going to have slightly different. we're kind of try and get a balance between mine and yours
Yeah.
play styles,
I was
because
gonna say
your play style is so different to mine, isn't it?
it's it's an episode in itself of like when we talk about lists, we go right. That was a you list, and that would work really well, but I can't play that list. But yeah, so for me, the Caladius is one of my linchpins. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic points. I think that you get the same job done elsewhere with different units for sure.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't agree with this, it's our podcast and our channel. So, I'm being mature. Fine. Next one, Achilles Contemptor. I'm going no chance. No?
I think you're right.
So, okay, he's somewhere between low consider and no chance, right? Having run one, we were trying to talk about how to use him. I don't. In the tier ranking, was he your top dread?
He was, but the way we're doing this, he was, because I would never take a dread competitively.
No.
At the moment, there are better options. If I had to take a dread, or if I wanted to go down that route, at the moment, I would have to tweak my whole list. So I would say, the list that I'm running at the moment, he's probably no chance. However, more broadly, I would say he's consider.
Okay, I'm happy to put one dread as consider if he's the one.
I genuinely feel that he's my number one, but I would probably feel more broadly that Galatas would be in consider, and he would be no chance.
Got it. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. There you go. Galatas is consider. 4-up in run. He is tough. He's got the flamers, so if you're trying to do the horde clearance in Overwatch, we've done an entire episode about Dreadnoughts. I would highly encourage you to go look at that if you want to understand where our opinion is on this. We don't want to rehash that. The Achilles... So the Galatas is slightly more points, very, very minor number of points, but I think that 4+ in run is really, really strong for him over the Achilles. If we have to pick one, he's actually above Alea. Is he above the Aquilans?
Because
this is the way it works. You actually rank them in the thing.
Yeah, let's come back to that because. I think let's put more there, and I can kind of...
Fine. Okay.
I do think he is, but I'd like to think about it a bit more.
Cronus. Solid?
Yes.
So this will be interesting for a lot of people, because you may not have seen this massive tank of a piece of resin, but you've had some success with running this. You have to build your list around the Cronus and what it can do. When something comes out of it, it rerolls all wounds. It's basically a Razorback. It's 200 points, is it?
Yeah, he's 200 points. So basically, I'm 9 wins and 1 loss as I've been running this guy.
That's incredible.
He is awesome.
I'm going to put him above the
Look at it like this, right? He's 200 points.
Yeah.
He's OC 5, toughness 12. He's 2-up save, so 1-up in cover. Got 16 wounds. He's got a 5-up in vulnerable save.
Yeah.
Right. Flies, even though flies crap at the moment. But he also then gives you the ability to, once you've shot someone, anything that comes out gets full rerolls to wound. In shooting only, it's not as good as the Eldar one.
Yeah.
But he then gives you a base.
He's a good fire base. We can do an entire episode about him, and I don't want to get into that too much here, but being able to get in and out of something that moves, transports in 10th is excellent. I really do think he's a good option for people to consider. The problem with him is he's bloody expensive on Forge World. So if you've got a Caladius, run it as a Cronus and see if you like it before buying the model.
Test it out. Yes, so, he's very good, and he's very beneficial for the wider group as well.
Custodian Guard with Pirate Spears, or what's the other one? I can only remember the pirate ones.
Adrasite.
You're going to want me to put this as a solid option, aren't you?
Adrasite, yeah.
I'm going to go with Consider.
Adrasite, no.
So I'm going to go with Consider because they can't have a Vex, they can't have a shield, So they are 3-wound custodians that are very good, and inside of Cronus are really, really good. But I think if Guard are going to be an auto-include or a high solid option for us, I would say the Pirate Spears are ones to consider if you're running lots of Guard and you want some better shooting, better quality shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Guard are better, but I really like the Pyrethite Spears at the moment. There's a lot of Dreadnoughts around,
Yep.
a lot of transports around, and these guys, one shooting phase per game, they ignore cover and have lethal hits. So your AP4 is AP4. They can't make it AP3 with cover. So you are getting 2-ups if they don't have an invul to a 6-up, and you've got D6 plus 2 damage within off range or something. So you can reroll all failed wounds if you're on an objective as well. So it's the same one as Guard. So they are very good into clearing Redemptors, and those
Pirates specifically, not Adressite. Rerolling wounds if they're on an objective. They all have, you said, lethal hits. Outside of Cronus becomes really, really handy. Consider or low solid option? Consider. Okay, I'm happy with that. Consider. Custodian Guard, auto. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You should always have 1 or 2.
Yeah, so I think one squad is just, and loaded out, you have to have 1 or 2 shields in there, and the Vexilla makes them just stupidly hard to get rid of. Really good unit. Really, really good unit.
I mean, you're going to have a lot of. If you're not running Draxus, you should be.
Yes.
And so she is the perfect fit into them, because obviously, as if you don't know, she gives them where they can't be targeted on a 2-up. They can't be targeted outside of 18.
Yep.
Then also they give her reroll wounds if they're on an objective and shoot twice.
Yep.
Once a game, and she's got out of line shooting, and she's got some good anti-infantry dev wounds.
Yeah.
So she's an auto include.
Yeah,
she's perfect with them.
We haven't got the extra characters, but yeah, 100%. An Inquisitor makes Guard way better, but Guard are just a great unit. 200 points for 4.
Yeah,
they're just quality. Very, very good. Right, Wardens are auto include at the top. Moving on, we've done a whole gushing thing about Wardens.
Yeah, honestly, if you're not running, you should have 10 in your list.
100%.
But go watch the Wardens video if you want to know why.
Yeah. There's no point wasting our time here to be like, why are Wardens the best thing in the Custodes Codex? We did 30 minutes on that. We're not going to do that in 3 minutes. Knight Centura. Now, this is an interesting pick because you tried to make her work quite a lot. I think we spoke about this for a while, and I was against her, and I think that you might have swung back to not being pro Centura, or are you pro Centura?
I'm not pro Centura anymore.
So is this a no chance?
This is a no chance at the moment.
I think she's a lot of points relatively for a sister squad. She doesn't give them much more. And yeah, I don't really understand her role in Custodes at the moment.
Yeah. There's just not much there.
Yeah, 100%.
The 2-inch movement, 2-inch advantage, 2-inch charge.
That's nice.
It's great. But yeah, it's if Psyker armies were very prevalent, then I would say yes. But we've just had Necrons come out who are like anti-Psykers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They hate Psykers.
Yeah.
And then we've also had the Mechanicus who don't have a single Psyker.
Yeah, it's a fair point. So I think the way that I think of her is she's one of the softest things you could ever take in a Custodes army. And if somebody takes Assassinate or they draw the Assassinate card, she's just bait to go and pick up. She gets picked up in like Night Spinners shooting out line of sight. She's just not very good. Not very good.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Palace. That's an interesting choice. No chance.
No chance.
No chance.
It's such a shame. Such a shame where it is. In actual fact, I think it's either no chance or bin.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm gonna make an executive choice to go to bin because they completely killed her. Sorry, completely killed it. Um, I don't know what the Palace's role is. It used to be really fast moving. It moved 16, easy to assault. Like gave the rest of the Custodes army time to stage and get up there. And now it's just a point sink for no reason. Like no, there's a reason nobody runs these. They're terrible, absolutely terrible.
and I mean, you're looking at 120 points. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You compare that to the Tau skimmers, and yes, it's more durable, but it's shocking in every other way apart from that.
100%,
And
100%. All right,
just ridiculous in terms of value.
now we have the trio. I can tell which ones are the vigilators, and I think I can tell the prosecutors and the witch seekers. But if I get this round the wrong way, my apologies. Witch seekers, solid.
Auto.
Auto.
You
Five,
need one, if not two, units of Witch Seekers in your army.
50 points for they scout 6, 5d6 flamers, strength 4 -1/1. Are they -1?
All D6. It's only a squad of 4 for 50.
Oh, it's 4. That's a big. That's a extra guardsman, for an auto. I'm somewhere between top of solid option and bottom of auto. I know that you think these are auto. I would argue that prosecutors with AP2 bolters are strong, are very strong. Auto to me means as soon as you make a list, these guys are in it. I think for you they are, right?
Yeah, every single time. Because the Flamers, the Flamers give you. If you haven't got Flamers anywhere else, those Flamers give you a really good option into Hordes.
Yeah.
Secondly, you've got. Oh, and Overwatch, I should say.
Yeah.
Traitors or scout moves from your opponent. More often than not, they are chaff crap. So, things with a low save or things that you just want to clear because they're going to move block you. Now, if you're against a good opponent and he has a very fast moving unit, he or a lot of people I've seen in a high end game will start them on the line as infiltrators, then move them up, and then layer them in front of you so that the gap between those models is just smaller than your base, so you can't get through them, so you're trapped. And that's a classic move block technique. You can see it on a lot of high end competitive channels where they do that. This gives you the option to Overwatch reliably. How many times have you done Urglings, move blocking shenanigans, things like that? So they give you that option.
Points, though. And I don't expect them to kill anything or get that trade. Now,
they have more of an impact on the game, though, right?
Yeah, it's true.
They have a higher impact than their points because you can put that base somewhere.
Yeah, fair. Fair. I'll give you that as auto include. That's fine. That's all good. Vigilators are not. Consider you played with a 10-man squad with Knights and Jura, and I don't think you got your points back for them.
No. I mean, I went 3-0 in that tournament, but at the same point, I don't feel they pulled their weight. It was just the Wardens that carried me.
Dev wounds is nice. Strength 6 -2 for 2 with Dev wounds.
5. That's 5.
Yeah, strength 5 -2 for 2. Dev wounds 3 attacks each. I think I consider
Psycho 4+.
I think I consider could be okay for these guys. I don't think that over Witch Seekers and Prosecutors they're better. I think that they are the worst of the options, but again, maybe local meta dependent.
I think they're just below Consider.
Okay, so we can rearrange where they are on Consider. That's good. Prosecutors, I'm going solid option. 10 points cheaper than Witch Seekers.
Yeah.
AP2 Bolters is great.
Cheapest unit.
Cheapest unit.
And right. They're not that bad. They got 3 up armor save.
Yeah.
Using them to do actions here or there. They're just I mean, when we had 35 points in action squads,
Yeah, yeah.
it was them, but it's not anymore.
No, 100%. Sagi.
If you're running them on their own, I'd say they're consider. If you're running them out of a Koronos, I'd say they are a solid option.
Oof, that's higher than I want them to be. Once per battle, dev wounds hurts for me for how many points they are. 225, I think it is for 5. I think
2-5, yeah, for 5.
Yeah, so I think outside of Cronus, absolutely. I think they sit in the consider bucket. I think if you're playing around the Cronus, yep, having 5 in there is nice. But it's a one punch swing for 425 points to get dev wounds, rerolling all wounds. It's to me that's a cute play, and I think that people won't expect it. But I think you can probably use 225 points elsewhere for something better.
You've also got to look at, I mean, they are the cheapest guard custodian body in terms of 3 wounds. They're not bad in combat because 5 of them will have 20 attacks.
So
strength, misericordia, so it's the AP2 1 damage. So they will do quite a bit. Shooting is good, and they're also they're a bit of a nuisance.
They are
because someone needs to invest a lot into them to kill them.
But they're only over 3 wounds. They give away blast because you have to run them in 5s. They can't have a Vex. They don't reroll wounds unless they come out of a Cronus, and they got a once per battle thing. For me, that's a consider. Like, if you want to play that way, if you've got that kind of like mentality to be able to get the best out of them, I think you can use them. That's what to me consider means. I just don't think they are like you have to like layer stuff on top and basically be committing a fifth of your army to be able to do this as a 1-2 punch. So yeah,
let's do consider.
I think that's what keeps them that solid option for me. Right. Right, here we go. Right. Alara Shield Captain, bin.
Yeah, he's a bin, unfortunately.
We're gonna do an entire episode on Alara Shield Captains, but he's terrible in terms of where you want to put points. For how many points he's worth. You get the free strat use, yes, but we have no idea. We did an entire episode where we slagged off Alaris, and go watch that if you want to hear our opinions on this. But I don't think I think that's going to be one of the shocks on our tier list. But we did make a decent case of why we hate Alaris.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put him in no chance rather than bin? No, the Alaris Shield Captain's a bin.
No,
he's a bin.
I think the Shield Captain's a bin, but I think the Alaris are no chance.
I want to put them in bin. Right. Fine. The Alaris have an interesting play, and from Golden Light could be potentially interesting. They are slightly tougher, extra wound, custodian guard, who basically do the same function. They're 140 points, so if you've got an expel 140, there could be a case for them. But realistically, that's a no chance. I'll give you that. I want to put them in the bin, but no. I think the bin tier there is never a chance, never a reason to use them, and I think they don't belong in that tier. Fine. Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle. Bin.
Yeah.
Like how the Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle is an example of how you go from having a very strong unit on every single list in one edition to having a bin model on the next edition. What did they do to this guy? I don't understand it. I don't understand how bad he is. Like, he's just bad.
So he is 180 points with absolutely abysmal shooting.
180 points. Who's got a list with 180 spare points? And they're like, you know what I do want to do? Run a Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle by himself with no bikes. You can only go with bikes.
And if you then start putting enhancements on him, he's over often the one that's 10 points, he's over 200 points, this guy. Now, to put it into context, you're not that far away from, investing. How much is Abaddon?
305.
Okay, maybe it's a bit more. Khan. We just spoke about Khan earlier.
Yeah,
He is 80 points.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it's how much is your Chaos Lord, the Smash Chaos Lord?
75 without any enhancements.
Exactly, exactly. As soon as you put an enhancement on him, what he's around 100.
It depends on the enhancement. 95 if you've got the Corn Lord.
Yeah, and then you can put him with units
Yep.
that give him abilities to buff him.
Yep.
This guy can only go with the bikes, and those units. What's the Virtus Praetus going to do? You know, give him 6-inch advance, which he's already got, or if he advances over someone, he's going to make 2 mortal wounds. I mean, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous. You look at what benefit you get by putting Trajan in with a guard squad. If you're an objective, you reroll all failed wounds. Or you put a blade champion in with wardens. And the warden's abilities. If for example someone's got precision shooting at your blade champion, and that's the turn that you popped your Fort Feel No Pain, he has the Fort Feel No Pain.
Yep.
He has the -1 wound if you're higher toughness, higher strength and toughness. So this guy does not get better when you put him with a unit, and the unit, yes, that unit gets a move to move the end of your opponent's fight phase, even if it could be fight phase turn 1 where you move up.
Yep.
But it doesn't justify the points, because there's no stretch of your imagination that 3 guys and this guy, or over 400 points, or around 400 points, are going to make their points back or have an impact on the game that is equivalent to the amount of points you're investing.
Yeah. For me, he doesn't kill anything. He doesn't get where he's going. He's not tough to take down. And he's so many points. 10% of your army if he's got an enhancement. And realistically, you put in the enhancements and other stuff. Yes, you get the 3-use strat, but there's a reason you're not seeing bikes, and specifically you're not seeing Shield Captain bike. Cool. Next one, Shield Captain on foot.
Debating out the top 2.
So
Would you say
he's an auto for me? I think, but that's because I want to run 3 units of wardens with 2 blade champions, 1 shield captain. And in that
yeah, I'm 2 units. I'm 2 units both with blade champions at the moment, so we can put him in auto. So if you want.
I think by himself he's expensive at 140 now, right? But he's so with wardens. If I'm running my 3 wardens, 2 blade, 1 shield, the free strat to do the -1 damage plus the 4+ feel no pain. He keeps the wardens around for longer to absorb so much more damage and gives the army a break, really. And then the blade champion ones can come out of strat reserve and deep strike and advance and do what they need to. But he's a force multiplier for the wardens, and I think he's great. I think he's really very good. Different episode where we can gush about him, but I do really rate the shield captain.
Well, let's put him in auto then.
Sounds good to me. Psycho Rhino.
I mean, it's a Rhino.
So,
but you're not really want to invest 75 points.
Okay, so
something that moves your sisters around.
I'm gonna go with something slightly different here. He's got OC2, I think it is. 75 points. He can deposit, and rhinos are useful. They're just annoying little things to get rid of, right? So he's relatively well priced for what's in the rest of the game. He's handy, and he can protect your sisters if you are waiting to, pop them out and do something. Moves quite fast. I think he has smoke, if I remember rightly. I quite like him. I quite like a rhino, but I run rhinos in CSM. I think he doesn't necessarily synergize well with the rest of the army. And if you've got 75 points, you're probably not looking at a rhino, you're looking at something else. But yeah, OC2, 10 wounds. He has smoke. You can have a hunter killer for a strength 14, -3, d6 damage shot. Heals a wound. I think there's a consider there. Again, consider for me is, have you got 2 units of sisters with flamers? Yes. Then maybe he's worth Like having them having them there. He's got firing deck. They can shoot out. He protects the sisters. 75 points. I don't hate that. That's a consider for me.
Yeah, I mean, the only flip side to that would be with the two sisters and that you're looking at 175 points.
But it's 175 points of
now,
screen
yes,
clearance, and protection, and then you've still got to kill a rhino on an objective. And if somebody's committing to kill a rhino on an objective, they're not focused elsewhere. Put them down a flank. I don't hate that personally.
it's not bad. I just think maybe this just comes down to kind of the way that I run compared to the way you run. I think it's a good option. I think I remember seeing a list where a guy was running 3 squads because the capacity is 12, I think, so you can run 3 squads of flamers. I remember seeing a list where a guy was running 3 squads of 4, and it was that was working for him. What I would say it's extremely meta dependent.
Yes.
Extremely meta dependent because one of the flip sides about not having many cheap units, is that if they kill your cheap units in the early part of the game, and then later on they get something like no prisoners, or the one where they have to kill something on an objective that I never remember the name. Overwhelming force. Then that can be quite difficult if you just have custodian units on those objectives.
I mean, when we played, that's exactly what happened. I killed all your chaff quickly, and then I was left with big blocks that I was just like, crap, how do I get rid of this? I drew kill secondaries, and it's like, I have no idea. Like, I can't pick these guys up like that. That's a fair comment. But that to me is why you consider. Like, depending on what's around, depending on what you're trying to do, I think fitting 12 sisters with flamers into him is quite fun.
Consider. Let's do that then.
Sounds good. Right. My poor boy, the Telemon. Bin.
Oh, Bin.
God, how'd you mess up
lad.
the Telemon? Again, you want to know what I think about the Telemon, please go listen to the Dreadnought episode. I'll spend a lot more time there, but he's one of my favourite models for 2 editions, and God, he sucks. Cool. T-Man, Big Tizzle, Trajan Valoris.
His stock's gone down for me.
Okay. You mean...
Stock's gone down.
He's not an auto-take like everybody says whenever they start talking about Custodes.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that, but... Yes, he's damage 3. Okay. But he's only AP 2.
Yep.
So, I like his moment shackle.
Yep.
I really do like his moment shackle. However, for the amount of points, if you put him with a unit, that unit then does not have advance and charge.
Yeah.
If you're not putting him with a blade champion, and it's more the what you lose by putting him in rather than what he gains.
Yeah, so you've literally summed up exactly what the point I'd say. He's good. He's very, very good. But if you're taking units, you take the Blade Champion, or you take the Shield Captain, you have to then take a different squad that doesn't have that to get Trajan on the board. And I can't see... I don't see the value, necessarily. Preferentially. But based on my preference, based on my style, based on what I want, I think I get more from other characters than Trajan.
Yeah, I think you're right. We do. I do think we even the normal shield captain gives us more.
I agree.
Because I would say that if we were ignoring damage reduction, or if we were ignoring armor of contempt, I would say yes, he's definitely up there.
Yeah,
because we're not ignoring either of them. That's the issue.
So this is a point that we usually make in these episodes. So we'll make it late, but we are talking about UKTC meta and UKTC rulings. So Trajan's ignore modifiers doesn't apply to weapons; it applies to the top characteristics. So he doesn't ignore AP modifiers, and he doesn't ignore damage reductions like Redemptors and stuff. And so because of that, in the UKTC meta, he has less value.
Yeah.
So, low consider?
High consider.
High consider, right?
'Cause at the end of the day, he's still Trajan in what he can do.
he
And
is
if you
still,
get him into a squad,
but so he is still Trajan, but you don't. But I would never see him because he's not worth taking a squad to get him there. If I have the points, I'm taking a shield captain or a blade champion. So he doesn't make the list. He doesn't make it into be a model. That's what I'm thinking about with that consider. But I'll concede the high consider. That's okay. This one you're definitely going to put higher than Trajan, but it's whether or not he's a solid option. Valerian.
Oh, 100% solid option.
100% solid option. Briefly,
he's our cheapest.
Yeah.
He's our cheapest custodian bodied HQ at 115 points.
So true.
And he is good fantastic into melee armies, to the extent that if you have him in a melee army and you're fighting against a melee army, if he's with a warden squad, that warden squad is like a Death Star. They will not be able to kill it, and you'll just kill everything.
Briefly, he's worth his own episode. Why? Like, what is it that, like, if you've not seen Valerian before, what is it that Valerian gives?
So he gives basically armor of contempt for combat. So let's take, say for example, you've got an opponent with a load of aggressors with the power fists, right?
Yep.
And with now those aggressors that we're seeing in a lot of reports at the moment, because it's very flavor of the month.
Yep.
With him, the shooting, obviously, we'll ignore that, but the combat element of it, it's AP2, aren't they?
Yep.
So they drop down to AP1, so it means you're getting a 3.
Oh, this sound is all over the place.
If you did want to pop the -1 damage, you could. It's just all layers, and it gives you that extra defensive ability, which just, I mean, Berserkers, they're AP1. Against you, they're AP0.
Yeah. Would you...
Berserkers, you've got a 2-up save against.
if you got one slot left on the bus, would you take a shield captain on foot with inbuilt strat for a warden, or would you take Valerian to a tournament?
Valerian.
In which case,
because
Valerian should be higher.
I've got my enhancements. Yeah, I've got my enhancements on my blade champions, so I would put Valerian in there because if we had an armor of contempt strat, which is -1 AP in combat that I could only use on Valerian squad, I'd always run Valerian.
Okay.
Be able to use that strat.
In which case, I'm going to downgrade the shield captain on foot and put him under Valerian.
Cool.
Okay. Vendread, no chance.
Oh, here we go. Where do you want him?
He's no chance. I'm going to put him above the Achilles. He gets back up on a 2+ with D6 wounds. It's nice. But if I said one dread goes into consider and the rest are no chances. And that is true. 185 points is too expensive for what he does. He doesn't really kill very much. We did, an entire episode. I like the play that we spoke about with him sitting on a home objective. I quite like that. But I'm not putting points into him. He's too expensive. He's way too expensive.
I can't see... He doesn't swing either way. So if you're against a melee army, he doesn't do much. If you're against a combat army, a shooting army, he doesn't do anything. At least with the Galatas. If you're against a melee army, all of a sudden he's a monster.
Yeah, if you're against things with one wound, the Flamer becomes really useful on the Galatas. Land Raider.
Average.
Consider? Like, the Coronis is better for transport capacity and what he can do. But so the problem with the Land Raiders is he's too bloody big, right? So on UKTC, he struggles to go around terrain. And whilst that's a negative that we can't help, and by shaving, like, you can't shave down a Land Raider, it is something to consider. I think he's a low consider. He's still.
I think you're right.
He's still got a decent enough firebase. He gives access to las cannons at strength 12. I think he's a low consider. If you need a transport to protect stuff to get where it's going, and you don't want to pay for a Coronis, and you have a Land Raider, he's okay. 240, 250 points. He's okay. I think there's better options, but he's not a no chancer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in certain areas he's great. In other areas,
he's tough enough to take down. He protects what he protects. He just doesn't kill very much. He doesn't trade up. OC4, OC5, not bad. Not bad to get an objective. Okay, next one. Venatari.
No chance.
Not been.
No, not been. I think
You're way too nice tonight. Right.
they do have. They can be used.
200 points is too many points for 3 wound Venatari which fly sucks, that don't really kill much. Yes, they get lance, but it's so many points. I'm putting it at the bottom. I'm putting it at the bottom with no chance.
Yeah, okay. Bottom of no chance. Perfect. I think for those listening, we did a whole video on this, and absolutely go watch that, because it gives you a lot of kind of in-depth look at what we feel about these guys and why we think it, which could maybe explain this.
Yeah, and the thing to know is we know that the two of the things in no chance, the Laris and the Venatari, are in every list or in a lot of lists at the moment. But we spent the time going through what we don't like about this. If this is your first time listening to us and you're going, these guys are insane, please go fast forward and find out why we don't like these guys. We have done detail on them. Agamatus bikes. I can never say their damn names.
Agamatus, yeah.
No chance?
Much better than, I'd say.
Well, normal bikes are going in the bin, so where do you want the Agamatus?
Yes, no chance, but mid no chance.
Mid
no chance. It's like I said earlier, the Agamatus bikes, because you can shoot and move, so they have got a little bit more play and a little bit more maneuverability than the normal Virtus, which is the only thing that makes bikes any good.
Yes.
So I'd say maybe kind of no chance, but definitely not bin.
Okay. Normal bikes? Bin.
Oh, bin.
I'll put them above the Shield Captain in Alaris Terminator armor. Right. I can never get these ones around the right way. You have the Orion. That's the skimmer, right?
The Orion's the transport.
I thought the Orion was the skimmer.
No, that's the Ares.
Oh, right. Ares is first up. Ares. You know these guys better than I do.
Both of them are bin. With the change to fly, obviously, how you start them, what you can do. There's so many units now that can one-shot these kind of units that we have. They're not like the I can move them forward in front of my opponent's army and survive anymore, because you can't stack the -1 to hits like you used to be able to in 8th, 9th. The shooting's okay.
Shooting's pretty decent.
It's pretty decent, but it's not reroll wounds. It's not like the Caladius. So I definitely say that this guy is bin, and he's 580 points.
Yeah, he's bin. I'm still gonna put him above the Laris Shield Captain. And then the Orion, same thing, right?
Oh yeah, same thing.
Yes, he
Mate,
transports, but it's the same principle.
690 points.
Oh Jesus, is he really 690?
690 points.
Jesus.
It's just ridiculous for an army that's expensive anyway.
Right. So now what we've got to do, and I want to do this quickly because we've gone on for a while, is rank them on each of these categories. Right. So auto include wardens, blade champion, guard, prosecutors. Not prosecutors. What are they? Witch seekers. Are you happy with that order?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's perfect.
Solid option: Valerian, shield captain, prosecutors, Coronis, Caladius.
Gladius should be above prosecutors, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so it'd be just behind shield captain.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I put him down because I was like, I will always take him, but I'm happy with that. Consider that is too high. I just dumped him there. So, T-Man, highest consider.
Yep.
I think it's too high, but anyway. Pyrite Spears. No, I'm going to put Saj. Pirate Spears, Vigilators, Aquilans, Galatus, Rhino. Is a layer in the right place?
Yeah, she needs to drop one down.
I was going to say, we said we'd drop her if we're going to drop her. She's high no chance, right?
Yeah,
you're not taking character support with the sisters anyway. That's not what they're there to do. I'm going to go like that. There you go. So T-Man, Saj, Pirate Spears, Vigilators, Aquilans, a Dreadnought, Galatus is one we've picked, then Land Raider, and then a Rhino, potentially, if there's a certain play. That's what Consider's about. No chance.
Perfect.
Alea, Vendread, Achilles, Knight Centura, Agamentus Bikes, Alaris, boo, and Venatari, boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the bin, and really this bin tier, all of them are the same. But Telemon, Pallas, Ares, Orion, Ares, Bikes, Bike Captain, and Alaris, Shield Captain.
Quite a lot in bin, isn't there?
There is quite a lot in bin. Now, what I was just thinking, just to sum this up, I don't want to go on for too much longer, but look how much Forge World we've got on this low end, so from Aquilans down. And Forge World was always the thing that like supported Custodes, but Aquilans are maybe situational. The Dreads are like, no, not really. Bikes were rare to see before anyway. Venatari are everywhere. Pallas was everywhere in 9th. And then I saw you play with, I think it was the Orion before, with Dreads in there. Like, there's so much from Forge World that we just cannot rely on anymore, and that used to do so much heavy lifting for us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to change. You got to remember, the Forge World, they did have some units that were kind of really good on the datasheet.
Yeah.
But it was the rules and the stratagems in the codexes which, when applied to Forge World options, like for example, the shoot twice.
Yeah.
Right, when we had that shoot twice ability, when you layered that onto Venatari, they were the best shooting unit in the game.
Yeah, it's true.
You drop down and you'd have
all the pistols
10 shots, shoot twice, 20 shots, exploding sixes, strength 6, neg 2, 2 damage.
Yeah.
You just pick anything up.
Yeah.
And that wasn't because of Datasheet or Forge World, that was because of a stratagem.
Yeah, I agree.
So where we don't have the codex and we don't have all these different options, Forge World doesn't then come to the fore because we don't have these options to layer those buffs.
Yeah.
If we get advance and charge, on a unit, for example,
this list changes massively.
Yeah. You may find if we get advance and charge, and then also, for example, like what I said earlier, shoot, turn your weapons into assault weapons. You could auto advance your Agamatus 20 inches, shoot, move 6 inches, and then charge. If we get that they will be instantly right up there because you'd be able to move. You wouldn't move 20 inches. Sorry, you'd move 18 inches. and then 6. So you'd be able to move 24 inches with those guys and then charge. Are we going to get that? I hope we are, but probably not. That would then instantly take them from almost or just outside of bin, and then put them into strong, almost auto include, because they'd just be so good. But again, it's not down to the data sheet, is it? It's down to the rules around it.
Absolutely. My final thoughts on this was like, I was smiling to myself listening to you talk there, because I was like, in my auto includes, I want to run 3 units of Wardens, 2 Blade Champions, 1 Guard Squad, 1 Witch Seekers, 1 Prosecutors, 2 Caladius, and a Shield Captain. And then if you put Draxus in there, that's 2,000 points. That's literally my 2,000 point list. Like it stacks up. It literally stacks up with how I read the codex and what it does. Interesting. Okay, let us know what you think. Let us know. I know this down here, this no chance Alaris Venatari will annoy some people. Please let us know. But tell us also, like, where do you think they go? Where do you think that the list builds? If you've got auto include and you're running 210 points of Alaris, what are you dropping? Are you dropping a Warden squad? Okay, but like, this is how we see it. This is that was interesting.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you?
No. I genuinely feel that, like I said, if people look at this and think like, what the hell, then please do look at our other videos around Wardens and Alaris and try and understand where we're coming from, because it's based on our experiences, etc., etc. But I do genuinely feel that our auto includes are pretty much the only way to go at the moment.
Our auto includes on our solids. I think everything else is a point distraction. If you're playing casual, that's when you take your considers. I would never take your no chances. I'd never take your bins. If you're sitting there and you're getting a 42% win rate with Custodes, and you've got things in our no chance and our bins, maybe think it's your list building, not necessarily the army. If you're running the auto includes in the solids and it's still 42%, then there's definitely an issue with the army. But I don't think running our autos and our solids will. I think that's a 50% win rate. I just do. It's a 2-3-3-2 at tournaments. Like, it has to be.
Yeah, I definitely think. Maybe I think we should do a not so much a battle report, because we're not that technically capable at the present moment in time. But maybe where we have a game and we take loads of pictures, we can talk you through it.
Yeah,
maybe something like that.
So we could do like a video about battle report. We could try and get TTS working and talk through some tactics about how to get the best out of some of these units. There's some things.
Yeah, that'd be good.
There's some things we can do, and we'll talk about what that looks like. But if you've made it this far, apologies. This was more rambly than probably usual. But every YouTuber does this. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas to you out there. And yeah, that's everything from me. That's everything I want to say. Alan, any final thoughts?
No, it will just be echoing what I've said already. But yes, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again next time.
And do the thing that all streamers, all YouTubers say: like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep, please do. It really helps us out, and obviously, we want this to get to as many people as possible. Not because we want as many subscribers, but because we want to get the feedback, and we want to know actually if what we're doing is actually of any use to anyone.
Absolutely.
I really do hope it is.
Absolutely. I think, there's a lot of advice out there. This is adding to that noise, but we do have opinions, and we do back up our opinions. So challenge us, talk to us. We're always willing to listen. We're always willing to argue back and have good debates. So we'll see you in the comments.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys.